VP Vance Erika Kirk speak at Ole Miss for Turning Point USA event. Oxford, Mississippi, WMC. Thousands of students and community members showed up to see Vice President J.D. Vance at Wednesday's Turning Point USA event at the Ole Miss campus in Oxford. Charlie Kirk's widow, Erika Kirk, also spoke and introduced Vice President Vance. Turning Point USA said this tour stop was a way of honoring Kirk's mission and legacy. Ole Miss was one of the schools next on the list for the speaking tour that Kirk was on before his tragic death in Utah. Students and community members stood in line for hours waiting to get inside the arena. Some were turned away after capacity was reached for the event. Action News 5 spoke with a man who drove 11 hours to Oxford to be there. He did not make it in. For students who did make it in, they had questions for Vance about three main topics: immigration, religion, and the state of the United States. Vance said he is pushing for border control and immigration crackdowns to protect American jobs. A student challenged that and asked why immigrants were promised a better life in America and now that promise is changing. Vance said the Trump administration is not punishing those who are here illegally. Increased immigration enforcement has been seen across the country, including in Memphis, while ICE has been part of the Memphis Safe Task Force. Dozens of arrests have been made for ICE warrants alone, according to the U.S. Department of Justice data. Other federal agencies and the National Guard were deployed to Memphis as part of the task force. Students asked the vice president about this push to send troops to U.S. cities. "If you look at what we are doing," said Vance, "if Joe Biden wanted to deploy the National Guard to a red state, to a place where the murder rate was twice what it is in a third world country, to actually go after murderers, that would be a great use of the National Guard." The city of Memphis and the Memphis Police Department have both noted crime reductions before the National Guard and Memphis Safe Task Force were deployed. A man from Memphis also asked about gun laws and how that has impacted the federal government coming into U.S. cities like Memphis. "We are focused on violent crime and people who have violated the bodily autonomy of another human being, a person who has committed an act of violence against one of their fellow citizens. We are going to clean up the streets and get those people off the streets and make America safe for the American citizens again. That is our entire law and order policy." Although there were thousands of people at Ole Miss on Wednesday in support of Turning Point USA, the Kirks, and Vice President Vance, there were other students who the Action News 5 team spoke with who had mixed feelings about this entire event. A counter-event was held at the same time as the Turning Point USA event, opposing it.